So yesterday I was at church, and for those of you who don't know, I go to a Nigerian church. For the last few weeks I've been talking to one of the elders in the church, and yesterday we've just been talking about BLM and the movement and police brutality, all that kind of stuff. So yesterday he asked me and says he's been confused for last week because where he comes from in Nigeria, when there are mass demonstrations against the police, or police for you know doing corrupt things, doing bad things, the police back off, they back down. And he says, but I'm not seeing that in America. And he asked me, you know, why, as an American, why do they do it like this? Why don't they back off? It's like they're adding petrol to the fire. And so I look at him and I say, over the last 3 months, there have been 4 high-profile shootings. The first one was Breonna Taylor, and the circumstances for her death are still questionable. She was very deeply involved in the drug game, and that surprised the media to know that. And and I at the end of our conversation, I also noted that with Breonna Taylor, I said the cops should be arrested. I'm sorry, the cops should be fired because they should not have raided her home like that. They should not have had plain clothes. They should not have knocked, and they should have had a full SWAT team. 3 plainclothes police officers are not enough to do a no-knock drug raid. And this is what I've heard from former SWAT officers. So then I go, okay, there's also George Floyd, who, from what we know now, seems to have not died because of the police, and Derek Chauvin will probably be let off because they gave him too high a charge. But police still should not have been on his neck for 9 minutes. That's there doesn't seem in my mind to be any reason for that. But it doesn't seem that he's guilty of second-degree murder. And I say, so then you go to Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard Brooks fought the officers and shot a taser at them, and it was only after he shot the taser at the officer that he was shot. And then I go, so now we have Jacob Blake. And I said, so what do you know about him? And he goes, well, I know that he was walking away from police, and that he was getting invaded, opened the door to his car, and getting in when he got shot by the police several times. I said, okay, so you have some of the information, but you're missing almost all relevant information. And then I broke it down. I told him that he had an arrest warrant for sexually assaulting a minor, that he had gone over to, as I know it right now, his baby mama's house, and as I understand it, he had the restraining order, so he wasn't allowed to be there. So he had gone to her house, took her keys. She had called the police on him because he wasn't supposed to be there. He put their kids in the car, who he wasn't allowed to be near. So when the police get there, they're dealing with a man who has an arrest warrant uh, for sexually assaulting a minor, and he has a knife. He fights the police, and then they realize he has a knife. They tried tasers twice. They both fail. He goes and reaches into the car. Even if you so reaching is the first one. They don't know what he's reaching for. But even if he was getting into the car, it's a stolen car with kidnapped children in it. He wasn't breaking up a fight. And when I start explaining this to him, he just sits back and goes, that makes sense. And then at the end of our conversation, he went, I learned something today. Don't talk about things until you know what actually happened. And this is a problem because from what I've had conversations with him, I know that he actually wants the truth. He doesn't want some political side, he's interested in the truth. And he didn't know this. Because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of research to look up all of this information. I'm in the thick of it constantly, so I'm getting all this information as it comes out. But he's not, he doesn't have time for that. Sometimes I don't think I have time for it, but I still do it. I still make sure to do my research. I'm still getting information from people I follow on social media. I'm getting constantly new streams of information. So what do we do with people who most people don't know? And that's a problem. There are some people who don't want to know. You can tell the truth to some people and they'll write off if they have their own minds that they can think for themselves. Whatever, man. You don't want to know the truth? Fine. I tried to tell you. You didn't want it. Moving on. Agree to disagree. But some people do want the truth. But you just have to be patient with them. Not everyone is the same. But for the people who want the truth, you have to present it factually and concisely. He learned something yesterday, and I've learned something over the last 2 days about how to talk to people. Because there are a lot of people I disagree with. But I can keep on, but if I throw insults, no one's going to change their mind. If I ask questions and explain things in a calm, mannered way, with every fact that I know, then I might change a couple minds. At least for minds that can't be changed. Maybe it's not that. I posted this quote yesterday from Ronald Reagan. He said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact phrase. It's not that our liberal friends are ignorant, it's that they know so much that isn't so. Don't look at your friends as ignorant. Many of them think that they do know. Many of them feel that they've researched. It's not that they don't know anything, it's that they know the wrong things. A lot of them are following Shaun King. If you know anything about Shaun King, you know he's a liar. A serial liar who makes money off of black people's deaths. So the best you can do is keep telling the truth. You won't change every mind, but you might change a few. And maybe that'll be enough.